on, everybody, and welcome to our first episode here on the podcast of I Dream of Hoops. My name is Chris, and I got two amazing guests here with me. They played basketball at different levels or another sport. One of our guests played football at a high level as well. I'm very looking forward to my guests giving you guys an idea of what it takes to play at that level and how you all can get to that point as well. So if you guys haven't already done so, do me a favor, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing this for a while. We have a lot of great, amazing guests in the near future, and I want to make sure I give the props and the light to these great athletes and these great people I know personally. So very first episode, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys tune in. Hey, so let's get started. My name is Chris. My background don't matter. You guys will hear from me throughout the episodes, but it's very important that we give the shine and the light to the guests that we have here on the platform. And our very first guest is someone that I met through our military basketball program. We were on the same team at Camp Pendleton, California in the military. And something that stuck out to me about him was his not only his tenacity to get after every rebound, hardcore defense, very athletic, but his approachable attitude and his willing to help others. And this is something that I believe is something that will help a lot of these athletes in the near future to get to that level. So say what's up to the people.
Hey, what up?
What's up? Oh, yeah.
You know what?
He's taking the line already.
My name's Courtney Swinney, aka Spider B if you know me, but we'll leave that to the other side. Courtney Swinney, St. Louis, Missouri, representative. I met Chris a few years back, probably even further back than that, but I met Chris some time ago. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much. We about to run it up. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So my next guest.
What's up, baby? I thought you were talking about me for a minute. You said defense, athletic, handsome.
Stop it. So our next guest is someone that I actually I met a couple years ago as well. Played with the Camp Pendleton basketball program. Before I actually got there, I actually heard about him, and nothing but good things. Mainly because he won a championship with a team that beat the team that we played for last year.
That's crazy. And
something that stood out to me about him was he had a very friendly attitude, and he was always smiling. He made basketball not a job, but something he truly enjoyed doing, and he made others around him truly enjoy being where we're at, no matter how bad the situation was. For someone that's about 275 pounds-ish, that boy thinking LeBron.
275.
Someone that can actually jump. Honestly, I might have to say jump out the gym. I've never seen anybody as muscular as him be able to jump like how he does. Get down the court whenever he decides to be in shape, and play hard defense, and actually a great team player. I truly enjoy being a teammate of his, and my guest is...
What's up, everybody? I appreciate the kind words. I go by a couple nicknames. We got Spider B, Optimus Prime, Shrek. A couple nicknames, but I appreciate the kind words. But no, it's good to be here. It makes you feel appreciated. It is episode 1, so I'm privileged to be a guest, and thank you for
big deal.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely, it's when I had a podcast I knew before. I still kind of work it, but I want to make sure that the people that I have for especially the first episode / the first few episodes, is some people that I know personally, some people that represent the brand of what it is that I'm trying to get across. And these two gentlemen are nothing but professionals, and I truly appreciate them taking time out of their day. So I appreciate you gentlemen for coming through. I know we started a little bit late today. It's a little hot in here, but we're going to definitely make it work. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I got 2 plates of food. I'm good.
Sweetie. I told you were 275 people. I told you.
He even cleaned the dishes, so it's good. I just showed up, and it's like...
the home training.
No, I appreciate it, though.
Absolutely. All right, so real quick before we go any further, I just want to kind of go over a mission that we have here at I Dream of Hoops. As you can see in the background over here, I Dream of Hoops. You guys will see that in my YouTube videos for my newest intros. But our mission here at I Dream of Hoops is to give an insight from other athletes and those that have made it at the high levels, whether it's in the military, whether it's Division I, Division II, in college, AAU, or actually any other levels of sports that can give you guys an insight of what it takes to get to that point. So me being an athlete, myself, an active athlete / former athlete, whatever knowledge I can get through my guests or through myself, I want to ensure that everyone has as equal of an opportunity to get to the same level, if not a higher level to where I've been and wherever my guests have been. And that's what they're here for. So that's every episode we have is about giving back. It's not about bragging, even though some of our guests have a lot to brag about. It's not about us. It's about what we can do to inspire you all and to get back to you guys as well, whether it's the youth or whether it's teenagers or grown-ups.
Absolutely.
So what I want to start off with was, and this doesn't matter left to right, right to left. Either one of you guys can answer whenever I ask you questions. Is I want to know what are 3 things that have, three tangible assets that you all have acquired over the years to help you become successful athletes.
Tangible.
I got 3 right off the bat. Right.
What's up?
Number 1, your character. Right there, you set a precedence for who you are and what you're going to bring to the table. Right there, all athlete needs to have good character. Number 2, a work ethic, right? And it goes with the saying, "Hard work beats talent," right? Because if talent, there you go.
Yes, sir.
You finish it right there, exactly. Yeah. And number 3, discipline, right? No one's going to hold your hand, showing up early, doing the things that the man to the right or left may not be doing. And in any team sport type environment, it's going to be the man, right? Al Pacino said it, and in the football movie he was in, any given Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Right? He said it's going to be, the guy to the left and right that's willing to go that inch that's going to help you win that game, right? And you add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Yeah. Sorry for the curse, but
no, that's all right.
So
like I said,
character, work ethic, and discipline, top 3 intangibles.
Yeah, for me, when I think tangible, what you can see, touch, and feel, first and foremost, I got superior genes.
That boy genetics freak.
So it's tangibly, everybody ain't 6'7", 225. I'm a slim guy, but in all seriousness, tangibly, I think to echo what my boy Di said was the work ethic. Because when you got the work ethic, you're going to get stronger. You're going to get faster. Your knowledge base is going to increase, and you're going to get playing time out there. It don't matter the sport. It don't matter the avenue or the venue. You're going to get time out there because you're going to be physically, mentally, emotionally prepared. Second tangible thing, I think being coachable. It don't matter how
That's a good one.
good I thought I was, I can always get better. And even now, I play with some amazing athletes. These 2 are...
Yo, you want to say Paul? Come on.
Yo, that's what we on. That's what we on.
This is not the It Is What It Is podcast.
Hey,
right?
that's one of my favorite podcasts on right now. Shout out to Murder and Killer. So,
Dustin was waiting to say something.
I play sports. Pause.
Nah,
with amazing athletes.
Right, but in all seriousness, I had to tell myself, at one point in time, I used to walk in the gym like, I'm the best here, hands down. Whoa. Nobody can see me.
What year was this?
Hey, I don't know.
Nah, God, tell the people.
Who's stamping that?
I'm stepping.
Talk
I'm stepping in. I don't need nobody else.
Hey, talk to him.
That's catching bodies. You hear me? So it was a point in time. I walk in the gym, and I was like, I'm the best here. And I look around, and nobody can tell me different. And I perform like it, right? But as you said, we military personnel. We got lives. We got careers. So sometimes the sports isn't always in the forefront. It goes on the back burner. I went away from the game. I had about 4 years outside the game. I came back in the gym, and I had to be real with myself. Am I still the best here? One of them, but probably not the best. I play on the team right now. I know it's 2 guys on that team right now that I'm like, hey, I'm not better than these guys, but what can I do to help enhance what they do? Right?
That part right there.
So, like, for me, you know, being coachable, I'm like, you know what? And maybe, you know, I don't need to go score 30 points a game, but what else can I do to bring to the team? And I had to be coachable. I had to be humble and say, you know what? Hey, I'll accept the role. And that's a big piece. And lastly, the third thing is, I think that you have to be, hands down, you have to be a studious person, a student of the game, right? Mm-hmm. You got to have the knowledge base. You got to study the game. You got to study your opponents because whether it's AAU, whether it's military basketball, whether it's D1, JUCO, whatever the case may be, if you playing in the league, you playing in the circuit, you're going to see the same people again. Or you're going to, later down the line, you're going to run into those people again. If you're not studying the game, you're not studying your opponent, and you don't understand their tendencies, and you can't take away what they do well, you're hurting your team, or you're hurting your chances of being on the floor. So, being, you know, I think that's my third one. Like, you got to be studious. You got to be a student of the game, and you got to have respect for it. That comes with respect for the game. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you take the time to actually learn, that's what makes your LeBrons, your Jordans, even your Rodmans great, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what make Rodman then scored over 15 a game. But what would he do?
Catching every rebound.
Every rebound.
Locking everybody down. 7 foot.
Everybody getting that work.
Everybody getting that work.
Man.
Even the cameraman getting that.
Put it on a wedding dress, you know.
Yeah, he did it all in the wedding dress.
He was a showman, the ultimate showman. You know, he had the colorful hair.
Right.
He distracted others where he can actually make sure his team focused while everybody else was distracted, thinking it was an antic, and the Bulls came out to play. So.
Facts, bro. I seen I seen a video, right? And it was Dennis Rodman. He was talking about. They was asking him. They was like, "Hey, why you such a good rebounder? Like, what would you do?" He's like, "Dude, do y'all know?" I would study for hours. I would know the trajectory of the ball.
I saw that.
I would have people with a jug machine just have the ball come off the rim, and I would for hours just rebound and focus. And I knew the angle before.
I knew how it spun, how many spins it
came off the fingertips.
Oh,
exactly.
Man.
So if you reaching that level, now you're Hall of Fame, right? But everybody's not gonna reach that level, and that you can't think that. But if you could take some of that. And I get it. We all got jobs, and basketball isn't always the first thing, right? But at the same time, if you just take some of that and you incorporate that with that work ethic, you incorporate that with being coachable, man, you can be a hell of a player at any level.
No, I love it. And before we do go further, I want one of our sponsors for the first video is my boy Jeremy Graves. He has this amazing company called I Got Next. Some of these, some of these shirts, tagging the pack. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy Graves was an officer in the Marine Corps. He got out a few years back. You know what it is?
No, we're getting one after the show. What's that? We're getting one after the show.
We'll see what we can do. Now, but I'm gonna reach out to my boy. He's always hooking stuff up, and I got a few shirts and a few items from him. This guy's an entrepreneur. Like I said, he was an officer in the Marine Corps, got out a few years ago. And from then, he started a company called I Got Next. He actually has an app as well, which I'll leave in the description down below. And in that app, you can literally have access to any location of any sport, anywhere in the world. Nice. Anywhere. Wow. Every field, every racquetball court, every basketball court, football field. And in that app, you can actually see who has reserved any type of open gym play or any open play. You guys are crazy.
My bad.
So I'll give you an example. So let's say myself, Courtney, and Dustin decided we wanted to go play open gym at one of the courts. We would click into the app, we would push on that court, and we would reserve saying that we had 3 coming at this time. So you can also see when people decide to click in, say they're on their way. It's such an amazing app, and it literally answers every question when it comes to being able to play sports. So I'll leave that in the description down below, and I'll also leave the website if you want to order some of this merch, you know what I'm saying, to support a fellow veteran and a fellow hooper as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, to push forward, So both of you played, sports at a high level. Some military, some college. So I want to know, what levels have you guys played each individual sport you have?
All right, let me start.
Yeah, go ahead, take it.
I know. All right, so.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, we might end up saying pause a lot. Sorry.
Hey,
No, I'm just playing.
It's about to be. But no, so believe it or not, I started out as a football player. Football.
Cap.
What position?
So don't hate. He a hater. Like, football is always my first love, right?
Tight end? Receiver.
So I was a receiver. I was a DN. And I played a little tight end. I was slim, right?
Okay.
But I used to get mad because, like, they used to put me on streaks and fades and be like, go get a rebound. Because I was a tall dude. I was a tall, but I had footwork. I could get off the line, and I had long arms, so I wasn't getting jammed. You feel me? And but I was a really good receiver. That was actually my first scholarship offer. Was University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Hey, what year was this?
This was 2007.
That's crazy.
Broke my ankle and they broke the scholarship. So, crazy story, right? When that scholarship got pulled, my high school basketball coach, he hit me up and was like, his name was Bird, right? His name is Richard Hamilton, not like Rip Hamilton the legend, but
like Bird?
Yeah, like Bird. He elected my team in St. Louis, right? Everybody know I went to Beaumont High School in St. Louis, right? On the north side, right? So, like, Bird, he's like, hey, Swinney. He had this voice, right?
He's like that.
Hey, so Bird hit me up and was like, hey, I got an opportunity for you. It was a D1 NAIA school, right? So if you don't know what NAIA is, it's a smaller school. But you do get to play, like, some of the larger schools, especially, like, the exhibition games and things like that. Like, I played the Mizzous, the SLUs, and Kentuckys and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, like, so I was a part of that, right? So I got to try out. Really green, really raw. I didn't start playing any type of organized athletics until my junior year of high school. Because, I was in the city, I was doing all type of other stuff. And, I didn't know the gifts that I had. I just knew I could jump higher than everybody and I can, like, dunk over 5 people. And I could just go catch the ball, like, do all these crazy things in the air. But it took some mentors like, hey, man, you don't need to go that route, come this route. And so I went to Harris Stowe, got a full ride scholarship, right?
Hey, real quick, man. That's huge. Anytime I see anybody make it out the city to get an athlete or to get a scholarship, whether it's athletic scholarship or academic scholarship, I definitely applaud that because it doesn't always happen. So, that's good stuff.
Yeah, and so I ended up going to Harris Stowe Hornets. I played there for 2 years, and then life happened, and I ended up joining the Marine Corps.
Nice.
I was like going on 22 years old, and then I've been in the Marine Corps ever since, and that's when I started my military basketball journey.
Nice.
Right, and been.
All right, so Dustin, like, obviously. You played football at a high level in college. I know we talked about you playing basketball in high school.
Yeah.
But can you talk about your different experiences playing, the different sports at those levels?
So my first experience, kind of like yours, where you said football was your first love, baseball was mine.
Really?
Yeah, and...
Were you any good? That means no.
So I played pitcher and I played shortstop once I had hit my weekly innings. And then, growing up, going through the phases.
You was a pitcher?
Yeah, I was a pitcher. I probably still strike out.
What was your pitch?
What
was your best pitch?
Slider.
I cracked that shit.
I hit it with some off-speed and he would strike out on 2 pitches. We'll be like, hey, Steve.
You're playing wiffle ball.
Like, what the hell's going on here? No, but then I kind of...
This is in high school, right?
What?
In high school you played?
Yeah. So,
okay.
After that, I realized that I liked the contact from football, right? Hitting people. And I grew up where my brother was...
Hey, yo. Y'all can pause me, but you don't pause him? I was trying to get you. There ain't no pause?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I don't think that's
Let's see what I can do.
So, pause. No, but yeah. So I grew up. My brother, he was an All-American basketball player. He played at NAIA. He played for 4 years. Just got inducted to the Hall of Fame last year. And so he was 11 years older than me. So when I grew up, he was kind of like the role model, kind of setting that example, right? My dad was always tough on us. My mother was always there supporting us through the journey, you know. And I fell in love with football. I was about 5'8", probably like 160 pounds, still kind of overweight, you know, growing up until like 10th grade, still like 5'8", right? My brother was 6'7". And I was like, damn, when am I gonna, you know, fucking hit that growth spurt, right?
Big boy.
So then when I went to my sophomore year, you know, that's when I hit the transition like 6'3", 6'4", and I kind of lost some baby fat, playing the wide receiver.
Hold on, bro. You grew up, was it 8 inches? Pause.
Yeah, probably like 6 to 8 inches. So I was like 5'8".
In 1 year?
Yeah, going from my
wow.
Oh, you was walking like a baby giraffe.
So,
They're like
my freshman year of football, I was the junior varsity quarterback.
Okay.
Right, and hit that crazy growth spurt, right, and then I went to be playing like a wide receiver, flex, you know, tight end, running back, just wherever they kind of need me, like a utility player.
You ended up being a fullback in college, right?
Yeah. So through my journey, I ended up committing. I took my my first offer I got. I was super excited. I was getting interest from like other Division I schools, like North Dakota State, who ended up winning like 9 national championships in a row, right? Yeah. Montana State, Montana, and them, right? And I was so excited, like, holy crap, you know, I got a Division I scholarship. You know, and that's something I worked so hard for. You know, and basketball is always in the back, man. I was always, you know, good at basketball where I could have got a scholarship playing at like an NAIA,
right.
Maybe like a small D2 school, you know.
Can you explain what NAIA is real quick for those that are, you know, viewing and that maybe want to play at that level that don't exactly know what it is?
Yeah, so Swinney kind of hit it earlier. It's kind of a mix between like D2, D3, kind of, if you will. But there's different levels to it. So you got Division I NAIA, Division II, Division III NAIA, right? Kind of gets broken down. It's a 4-year university school, right? They're all
NCAA.
Yeah.
But I would say this, like NAIA, when we're talking about hooping, you get guys that probably they didn't have the grades, or they wasn't nationally ranked, or like you don't get a lot of footers, like 7-footers.
Okay.
NAIA, but you get a lot of 6'10", 6'9". Got like we had a guy named Amadou Fall. Shout out to Amadou. Yeah, Amadou Fall. He
just sound like
you fall a lot.
No, he's like 6'10", African. He was so dark his eyes was red. He was like, but he's the nicest guy I ever met. Like one of the like really humble. We had another dude. He was like Euros Vukovic. He was like 6'9".
He was a shooter, wasn't he? Vukovic? Any
It's definitely a good caliber of players, and it might be like you said, like it could have been their grades.
Different situation. Right. Maybe they wasn't on the radar. They wasn't nationally ranked. I certainly wasn't.
Man.
Or started late, or
started late. Like me, like I said, I was real green, and like. I got interest after playing a year there. Like people like, oh man, you can red shirt here, red shirt there, save some of your eligibility, but like you might be good with the right coaches.
Right.
That's because my athleticism and stuff. But
that's the shit that you can't teach someone to grow 6'10".
Yeah.
Right. You can teach them how to dribble a ball, right?
Yeah. But I was thugging.
So. A lot of people do like the JUCO route, right? NAI gets a little more exposure, so they'll go play. You know, they might redshirt, develop their game a little bit, go from 18 to 19, and then they're playing, you know, 1 to 2 years eligibility, and then at the time they're 21, 22 years old. That's when those big universities come in, kind of recruit them. Then they're like
mature, a little more polished.
Why invest all that money in a 19-year-old who you're gonna have to work for 2 years when your goal is to win now?
Right.
And that's kind of what NAIA does.
But the good thing about NAIA, you get like the top teams, you get scholarships, you can make it to the tournament, you can make it to the big dance, but you got to be good.
Like, I think it's in Branson, Missouri, actually, too.
And McKendree ran that conference. Those dudes was like 142 and like won in like 10 years straight. Seriously, and them dudes was they beat us twice. Like it wasn't close. But shout out to McKendree.
You know, one of the things that you mentioned is this win now right? You're talking about winning now versus win later, and we've seen it in the NBA as well.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't trying to mention any specific names.
Hey,
we were talking about it earlier. We ain't gonna name it.
Put a name on it.
We ain't gonna name
Put a
drop.
name on it.
But you know, there's this concept of we have to win now, and there's actually some NBA teams that their brand is considered win now. The Lakers, the Celtics. Right now, technically, the Golden State Warriors, if you want to kind
Do you
of mix
think it's
in.
because so many coaches are getting canned after their first couple years?
After 2 years, if you don't win, you're done.
And that brings up a great point as well. I think it started with the player, right? Because to me, everything revolves around money. So these players, right, and the GMs, they're bringing in players that can get them to win now. I'm not going to say LeBron started. LeBron had a big piece of it because of his name. However, obviously you had the Celtics prior to that. Technically you had the Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers.
Prior to that.
Nobody ever mentioned the Lakers.
Shaq coming from Orlando. Now technically, who was it?
Yeah,
It was Jerry West was able to pull that off. You know, I mean, see, the Bulls,
Orlando
I wouldn't put the Bulls in the same category. The Bulls
Shaq
were homegrown except for Rodman and Ron Harper. Those are two players that are underrated in the Bulls series and Tony Kukoc.
Yeah.
Those three players that they were able to acquire literally made them able to be able to have success. But as of right now, actively,
You didn't say Dennis Rodman. He was.
No, I did. I said Ron Harper, Dennis Rodman, and
Kukoc.
And Kukoc. Okay. So right now, this win now, right? We're seeing Kevin Durant's been on 3 or 4 teams in the last few years. James Harden's been on 3 or 4 teams in the last few years. Chris Paul's been on 3 or 4 teams in the last few years. Yeah. No, LeBron, the last 5 years has been on the Lakers, so you can't really say that. If you want to say before that, he's been on Miami and then Cleveland. But there's a lot of players that are going from different teams, and I'm not going to say it's not necessarily their fault. However, a lot of coaches are being fired because of their inability to be able to win now. Monty Williams just got fired.
That's crazy.
Rehired, go Pistons.
Who was the Lakers coach prior? What was his name?
Which one? LeBron got one.
The one that just won the championship. The one that won the championship in the bubble.
You talking about Darnell? No. The white dude.
I can't think of his name. Anyways,
Frank Vogel.
So he got fired. He didn't get fired the year after the championship. He got fired with a year after that of not reaching the quote unquote potential. LeBron got injured, so on and so forth. Yeah. So right now, a lot of jobs in the NBA, whether it's GMs or coaches, are tentative. And I think now this win now culture is starting to take over. So I want to know, what is your thoughts on win now, and how does it affect these up and coming athletes and their ability to be able to make it to the next level?
I would like to just start off by saying it's not the mentality of the NBA or the NFL that's doing it, right? Because now the NCAA just started the transfer portal.
Talk about it.
Right? So the transfer portal, hey, I don't like playing at, University of Southern California, I'm going to go to Stanford. No one can say anything. You enter the transfer portal, right? You got the grades, you meet the criteria. Now you're able to go play at Stanford. And that's already creating a mindset, and it gives someone that's at a young age, right? Like the thought process of, when times get tough, I can leave. Right. So now, say they went from USC to Stanford, got drafted or whatever. We'll go with basketball for instance, right? Because that's kind of the topic we're on.
Right.
He gets drafted by the Lakers. He runs into that same mentality, right? Oh, shit ain't going right? We got Kyle Kuzma ducking threes. Lonzo's hurt again, right? We're just going to trade everyone away, right? But times get tough and they go away, right? And you're going to start seeing that transgress all the way down from the NBA. Now it's at the NCAA with the transfer portal. And you see the same stuff with the AAU teams, right? Like Bronny left a couple of AAU teams. Now he's back with Sierra Canyon, right? He's going around, granted LeBron's leaving everywhere. LaMelo Ball, he went overseas and played, right? And the mentality's set, and it's going to take, changes like that don't happen overnight. So by the time we get away from that same mindset of when time gets tough, we're leaving, that'll take a while. Like I would say 10, 20 years before we see a change.
Well, I think, honestly, I think it's bigger now, but if you really think back, look at what, all these private schools and Christian schools
Yeah,
was doing
kids.
before there was a transfer portal and everything like that.
Same stuff.
You had some of the greatest talents in these inner city schools and everything like that.
Private schools.
Private schools, like, hey, we got money.
Yep.
And hey, your mom needs a house. You guys need a car to get to and fro. We'll do that for you.
Is that
hey,
bad, though?
you guys are losing. You guys are losing anyway. Come over here.
Yeah.
Help our team. You know what I mean? And you know
That's tough because that's.
And that's.
I think they tried to hide that in the history books.
They
Yeah.
do.
They're like, we're just gonna throw that away.
Yeah, you could see that same scenario play out in Blindside, right? We got an inner city youth kid, right? And what do? You get a wealthier family at a private school, swoop in, right? Like
Everybody
with your
eats
test,
off
bro.
of it.
Like
Yeah.
you can stay here. We got a nice path for you. The team wins, right? The school wins, right? Because they're bringing in someone of culture, right? Even in the Marine Corps, we see that, right? They're going for they want diversity amongst everyone, right? So you bring in the inner city kid in, he gets a good education, he's got a place to sleep at night, and the team wins. And you see it right there. That's a good example of it.
Yeah. I think the win now mentality is a subsidiary of the times that we're in. But that's what I was saying. I think the
win now. You're saying
the win now mentality is more of a subsidiary of the times that we live in. Think about it. We live in an age of instant gratification.
We want everything now.
I want everything right now. Everything I want is right here.
Right there on the phone.
Any information I need, anything. We saw about James Harden. Is he top 5? And you said put him at number 40. I was like, bro, I pulled up James Harden's stats and everything that it said right there says that person is top 5, right? So
top 5 what?
Hey,
No. Hey, you heard what he said, right? Call him out. Top 5
is James Harden the top 5
shooting guard
currently? Absolutely.
No, of all no. See,
all time.
You see how I said of all time.
Of all time, top 15.
All right. But you just said
We're
his stats.
His stats say top 5.
See,
he was a lone baller.
We watching the game, right? And we know the game. We say top 15 all time because, like you said, what did he win besides the MVP?
So
I'm with you on that.
Not to sidetrack too much.
You can't put him in the 40s.
Because I want him to continue on with the win now.
You can't put him in the 40s, Chris.
So you're talking about James Harden. How many years of a prime did he have?
4.
Of a prime that where you're like, we're looking at him as holy.
Those last 3, his MVP year plus the year before and the 2 maybe
after
the 2 after.
Houston.
So 4 years puts you in the top 20.
He did enough. He was going nuts.
What player in history?
I got you.
What player in history?
I got you.
With a 4-year peak has ever been in the top 15, 20.
Patrick Mahomes, right there. We talking about in 4 years.
I said basketball. Basketball.
Okay.
So we're real quick, right? Because we're obviously digressing.
My bad.
No, not at all.
That's
I like
great
these conversations.
That's a great
Watch.
Great
They're all
example.
co-signing, all right?
No.
They call me Max Keller, man. I ain't Stephen A, all right? Patrick Mahomes has won 2 out of 3 Super Bowls in the past 5 years.
Yeah, but he's winning.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, has James Harden won 2 out of 3 anything?
That wasn't the question. You're switching it.
No. What I'm saying is, for him to compare, if you're going to put him in, how do you compare someone that's won 2 Super Bowls to someone that's won 0 championships?
That's valid. I stand that.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Patrick Mahomes had a cast though.
See, football, basketball,
and he deals with his brother on the sideline.
Fucking doing this shit.
I can't deal with that.
Juju.
Anyway,
when he danced on Sean Taylor's freaking memorial, somebody should have rocked him. Somebody should have slept.
I remember that.
That's my personal.
It was coned off too.
Yeah, it was like roped off. That's
He said it was
crazy, bro.
because it was a coned off. That's funny, bro.
Hey,
shout out Mateo.
So we were talking about the instant gratification era of sports. So obviously basketball, and not only that, but things like social media, right?
Yeah.
We've seen Zion Williamson in the last, he's been in the league for about 4 years?
He's played 38 games.
Yeah.
2018.
I think he's been in the league for about 4 or 5 years.
No,
right?
about 4 years.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years. But prior to him actually getting to the NBA, he was what some considered one of the biggest hypes of a player. I kind of want to say since LeBron James.
Yeah, he was.
If you want to compare those two, because some people get kind of, their panties in a bunch about that. But he got so much hype from Instagram videos. He was being recorded everywhere. His games were being recorded.
Yeah.
And they had high-level people going to his games in high school. Whether you believe the competition was a high competition or not, seems like people were about half this hype. But yeah, it was crazy. So that level started.
But he was reverse windmilling on cash.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
I don't care how tall he was.
He puts people in the seats, man. He puts money in the seats.
He's an absolute beast. Yeah. But I believe that
that
type of situation has literally led to the instant gratification era. So as far as like social media goes, what role has social media played? All right. So the last one was talking about the IG era, and and where it's like taking us to. So we were talking about Zion as well. So
I think social media in a whole.
Social media then made everybody think they nice for one.
Yeah.
Everybody think they nice. Everybody think that me. I think I'm nice.
Talk your ish.
Everybody think that everybody think they can make it. Just like it's outside of sports. Everybody can't rap. Look at me. Hold on. This camera. Look, damn, I'm breaking my phone. Look, everybody can't rap. Everybody can't hoop. Everybody can't catch touchdowns and do the gritty. Everybody can't
do the gritty?
Yeah, everybody can't run somebody over. Everybody can't catch a lob. You know what I mean? Everybody can't do everything. If that was the case, we wouldn't have no sports. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have any type of competition.
Yeah.
I think social media has placed a veil of delusion on the minds of most of these young folk, man. Because like I say young folk because I'm in my 30s now, right? And like, I'm an OG, triple OG, you feel me? So like,
wait, now or like 6 years ago?
I've always been an OG, triple OG.
I'm talking about in your 30s.
Since I hopped off the porch, you feel me?
Stop it.
But like, I think that because I look at my sons, right? I got 2 sons. I look at my sons, and you let my oldest son tell he going to Michigan. He's like, I'm going to Michigan, Dad, which is it's a premier historic school, right?
Yeah.
A lot of history there. My son, he's been playing football since he was 5 years old. He's very talented. But you know what he doesn't have? Work ethic. I can't teach him that. As his dad, I can try to instill that as much as possible, but that's intrinsic.
You gotta find that yourself.
He gotta want it. I can't want it more for him than he wants it for himself. So if you want to play video games, instead of getting out there, I got a whole gym in my garage. I go out there, I'm like, hey, I'm hitting the weights. I'm not gonna force him to. Hey, you want to get better? Meet me in the garage. You think he comes out there? Sometimes. Most times, no. So it's like, okay, you don't want to get better? I'm not going to force you to. Because ultimately, he's going to make it as far as he takes himself. I can give him all the cheat codes to the game, but he got to play the game himself. So I think that the disillusion comes when people see like, oh man, it's 16, 17-year-olds all over Facebook, you gotta get it. Like these dudes shoot 4 or 5 games to get 4 highlights, and they turn it into like a little mixtape on YouTube. And like everybody, oh, this dude crazy. Like no, man, that dude went 4 for 28 that game, and one of them was a crazy dunk. So they may be athletic, but it's like, bro, everybody's not nice.
It's interesting thing.
One of the things that you guys said earlier was, I think Dustin said it, where you can't teach 6'9", 6'10". And I didn't realize that because I'm a stubborn person when it comes to that. I'm not gonna say I'm an ego, but I have this mindset that I don't care how tall or like how swole you think you are. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna battle you. It don't matter. But then I realized it's like you truly do have just that much more of an advantage when you are that tall. Especially the ones that can actually use their height the correct way. And we actually ran into a few of those players. Who humbled? Nah. They don't even know. Stop it! Yo, you see this dude?
Hey, who humbled him? Hey, who humbled him?
I don't think anybody necessarily humbled me. I would say...
Hey, I go, who humbled him?
I I remember last year when I played for Camp Pendleton. He probably like a half an inch taller than me.
You cooking him?
Nah, bro. We're on the same team. First of all, both of them dudes is cap. Great cap. But no, there's this guy from Cannon that played in the military basketball association. Now he's had games to where he, you know what I'm saying, we were able to, you know, be successful against that team. But if you're caught in the wrong position to where you know, obviously you get caught on his hip.
In the lob on game, remember that? He blocked the lob on there.
If you get caught on his hip, he has the movement to be able to, you know, to be able to finish it very. So there are some technically good players that if they have position, especially in the paint, there's nothing you can do about it. Matter of fact, myself, Brandon Mitchell, we played against this team, St. Catherine's. We had a veteran that actually played on that team as well, Baptiste, and you know that team is, I think, is special. To be honest, that team plays so much in sync. They had a big guy, you know, he looks like he's a little bit overweight. You know, it's whatever. But he looks like he's a little bit overweight.
Hey, shout out to Javi.
But if he gets positioned on you, it's a wrap. Yeah. There's nothing you do. How tall do you think he is?
Javi about 6'8".
He's about 6'8".
He's 6'8". He's about 6'8", 320.
Left guard.
You can't move. If he shoots the ball near the basket, he's just going to continue to walk. He's just going to be just like this. Oh, I got the rebound again. Oh, I got it again. And he's just going to lay it up. There's no boxing out. There's no amount of nothing.
You got to.
You can't do nothing.
Get around him.
You can't do nothing. And there are players that are like that, you know, whether it's AAU, you know, that they talked about earlier, whether it's in college, Division I, Division II, it doesn't matter. They're at all levels. So, once again, to hone it back in, what are you going to do as a player that's up and coming that's going to help you for those particular situations?
Can I interject?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but
no, you're good.
You speaking on that, I saw a video actually today. It's Dwayne Wade talking about you're going to get stuck on a bigger guy, and what do you do? And he was discussing. Come on, we can't get. Can I make a statement?
Yeah, come on, bro. He said, "What do you mean stuck?"
Pause.
Yeah, go ahead.
But Dwayne Wade verbatim said you're going to get stuck on a big guy, especially when you're in a screen and roll situation. And how do you defend it? You can't just give up and let the guy score an easy layup or an easy dunk every time. And he was talking about the tenacity that you got to play with, and more so that basketball is all angles, it's position. And he was saying it don't matter how big or small you are. Like sometimes, there's certain people I know if I get them on my shoulder, if I put them on my hip, pause, that they dead in the water, right? Like, because I know,
you can do about it.
Yeah, I know. Like my wingspan and everything is gonna help me out. My athleticism is gonna help me out. There's nothing they can do, and I'm strong. So like, you can foul me, and I'm probably gonna finish through the contact, or I'm going to the free throw line, right? But what do you do in that situation? Do you back down from that challenge? No, you gotta play angles. So you gotta know the position. So if you're an AAU player, high school player, even a collegiate player, if you start learning angles of the game, and it kind of goes back to what we was talking about earlier, with like Dennis Rodman just being a student of the game.
Studious. You said that right away. The first thing you know, that's one thing you have to have as a kid. And I remember when I was, playing Division I football. When you get to that level, it's not just a sport.
Right.
That is your job. You got all these people that, and for the people out there that are going to see this, right, and you think that you want that commitment, I don't know if you really want that commitment, right? You said your kid's growing up, right? He might not have that work ethic. That is where, if you don't have that work ethic, from the day one, you will be exposed. Because from in the morning, right, in the off season, right, let's just spit it. 05:30, you're doing morning runs, right? And right after runs, that's an hour workout, right?
Yep.
The campus isn't even awake moving right now. And you're 05:30, you're doing your runs. Immediately after your runs, you're going into a weight session. And that weight session is going to be an hour, hour and a half, right? Yep. So in college, right, at 05:30, you work out for an hour for running. You have an hour and a half workout. That's what, 2.5 hours right there. You shower
before you go to class.
Before you go to class, it's already 8 o'clock now, right? You want to grab breakfast quick. You're getting your chow. It's another 45 minutes, right? Now you're 9 o'clock. You go to your first class. You're sitting there, probably not paying attention, right? Because you've already been up for 4 hours.
Tired of the mud.
Tired, right? And this is consistently every day, right? So you do your classes till 11, 12, 1 o'clock,
and
right?
you're thinking about the play you messed up yesterday.
Yeah.
How you got yelled at by the coach. And I gotta get that right today.
No, 100%. Because I'm speaking in terms of football, right? Because maybe I'll speak to one kid out here that watches that wants to play football. After that 2 o'clock, right, you're going to get your lunch, right? So your whole morning consisted of workouts, class, and eating food. What are you doing right at 2 o'clock? You go into the trainers, right? The athletic trainers. So you got to get taped, whether you got to put ice and stem on, you got to heat to get your muscles relaxed, right? And then right after that little hour, you're watching film.
Yep.
Right.
You got an hour of film.
Watch film.
It's huge. It's huge.
Underrated thing right there.
How important is film?
Yeah. I'm going to get into it, right?
Man.
So you're watching that hour film, right? And the film is going to be breaking down every single play from the day before, right? You're watching your pass Kelly, you're watching your one-on-ones you're doing with the defensive line, linebackers, whatever it may be. You're watching inside run, outside run. You're breaking down every little thing. And it's not just hey, here's play 1. All right, hey, make a better block. Here's play 2. No, you're breaking down the fundamentals. How your stance is affecting it, your first step, where you're getting your power from, exploding, right? And you're doing that, and it's from 05:30 till 3 o'clock. You're done with meetings. Now you go to practice, and practice is 2.5 hours, 3 hours, right? So now, by the time you're done with that, it's 6 o'clock, 7 p.m. at night, and you started at 5:30, right?
Still got homework.
Just wait. Exactly, right? After that 6, 7 o'clock practice, you shower, you go get chow, right? It's 8 o'clock. College, university will have mandatory study hours. And you have to go to them.
How many of you are ready for that? Real quick. How many of you think you're ready for that? And that's the college level. How many of you think you're ready for that?
This is FCS, so like FBS probably a total other ballgame, right? So by 8 o'clock, you're like, damn, bro, those classes I sat in, I still have mandatory study hours I have to hit. And there's a program called the compliance program within each university, and they track that.
Yeah.
They have class checkers, right? You say you're going to class, your ass will be, you will be in class. They will have a coach, they will have student assistants that don't get paid, that are trying to work their way up, right? And they will stand outside your class to make sure you walk in that class, check, right? So by the time you're done with study hours, it's probably 9 o'clock, and you haven't done anything but football, school. Yeah. And that's 5 days a week. And that's during the off season, like spring football, summer workouts are another crazy thing. So if you think that you are just going to walk onto somewhere and, go take something, if you don't have that work ethic, character, resiliency is a huge thing you have to have, because you will face adversity, then you need to take a look in the mirror, because there's guys that do the NAI route that have been doing it for 3 years, 2 years, right, with the red shirt. They're going to be that junior, senior level, and they're going to demand that too, because they're at that, hey, I'm in my 3rd, 4th year. I want that win now. I
have to make something happen now.
Because a lot of people, they take these full ride scholarships because they never had anything growing up. Right? People come from all over the place, right? And that's where, I get some people will be like, wow, like Iverson, like you're very culturally, diverse. And it's because I came, through sports, I met so many different people from everywhere, right? And, when you certify yourself out there and hang out with different groups, that's kind of who you become, right? And if you think that you're going to go mess up the culture that these guys have been building for 4 or 5 years, you're absolutely wrong. Right. So, the film is huge, because you said it right away. Like, when you get locked in, when you're playing a team, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday before you fly out, and then even when you fly out to the place you're playing, that Friday night before Saturday game, you're watching film. Saturday morning, you're going over film again. And you're breaking down every move, because you get different plays. And the NBA, I'm sure, is the same way, college basketball, right? Because the people have different sets. Like football, they have different formations. You got 21, you got 22, you got flex pro. You got so many different things that offensively the defense is doing, right? So I got to know, like, hey, if this guy lines up in a 6 technique, how am I going to block him? All right, that same play, that guy can line up in a 5 technique, or he could be off the ball, and I still got to know off of those 3 different positions what I'm doing. Yeah. And that's what breaking film does. Because if I go in there and he's at a 6 technique, right, or he's at a 5 technique, I'm like, you start second guessing yourself. And at that point, you play slow. So I'm there, right, and football is a huge thing, right? I take it from the military, train your Marines as a team, right? And I always break it down to football, because you're literally a running engine on the same cylinders that you have to be. So if my quarterback, right, and if you watch football, you always hear football coaches say, "We never played our best today." You never played our best. Someone is always messing up.
Yep.
And then the one time you see a run gap off for 60 yards, it's either the defense missed one of their assignments, right? Because there's 11 people on the field, or the offense, that one play, maybe every one of them got the assignment right. But someone is always messing up. You're missing a block. Your right guard might miss a block, right? Your left tackle might have made the block of his life on that same play. But hey, that right guard and center missed their double team. One ahead and shut off the linebacker. And it's huge because film breaks everything down. Film never lies.
Can't lie. Can't hide from lie in the sky, baby.
Lie.
So how does that
I know I went off there, but
not at all, because I like to give the aspect of not only just, obviously this is IGM approved, but I want to give it from the aspect of an actual high-level athlete, not just a basketball player. There's a lot of great basketball players that are not high-level athletes in other sports, and obviously you proved to be a high-level athlete in other sports. You play basketball, and you play football, and you play baseball. I'm still hitting that home run though. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that slide ain't nothing.
Hey, just so everyone knows,
I'm betting 1,000 on that.
They talking reckless.
That slider's going out of the park.
Hey, I'm betting 1,000.
We can get the cameras on after this. I'm coaching Little League on the side. I have my bag in the car.
Sound good.
I got 2 gloves. I got 2 gloves. I got 2 bats. And I got about 15 baseballs. So if they want to put it to the chest.
Hey, he only saying that because it's midnight. It's dark.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody see that.
I know you can see all those lights in here. Someone can catch your fastball.
No, but for real, it's to be able to see the different levels of athlete, because myself, I try to leave my opinion down to at least toward the end, because I feel like there's a lot of things that actually, that makes up an athlete that can be successful in the basketball realm, and they talked about a lot of things that were very important as far as being an athlete, but for some reason it's I always felt like your why has to matter. Why are you playing that sport? Some people literally play the sport, what we talked about earlier, we have a bunch of IG highlights. Some people play the sport because they want to make money, and right now college is starting to make money in different areas, whether it's through endorsements, jersey sales.
Thank you, NCAA. It was needed. I mean, you heard the schedule. You have no time to get a job.
That's a whole other topic, by the way.
And you never even get hired in the worst thing.
Hey, trademark it if it hasn't been trademarked. Take a sip.
So everybody, I feel like a lot of people have their different why. Some people they benefit from the attention. So a lot of people like the attention. Some people like the attention from being able to say that you play for a sport. I've seen a lot of dudes that they're really not that great, but they can say they made the team. I made this team or that team. Yeah. And to them, that's what actually matters, whether it's through, gaining females, whether it's through, gaining friends or, gaining acquaintances. They were able to say that they made the team. So that's why they play on the team. Maybe they're not necessarily good enough to actually get in the game, but they can say they're on the team.
That's an interesting topic because I had a coach in basketball, and it was recently that this coach said it, probably within the last 6 months, the coach said it. Sometimes the most important players on the team aren't the most athletic. They're not the best player. They might not be able to take that ISO one-on-one, take it to the rack. They might not be able to do a catch and shoot 3-point. They might not be able to break someone off, do a pick and roll. But what they do is bring positivity to everyone on that team. Yeah. They might be that lasting piece of glue that takes everyone together.
And let's pan the camera to this guy.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I think you just described, you guys might not know, but I think that sums up Chris Levine, right? Natural athlete, got a lot of tangible things, can shoot the ball, can create his own shot. But I seen before he went to y'all team, when he played on our team, he took a backseat role.
Westpac champs.
Hey. They were Pac West champs. He didn't even know the conference he won, but yeah.
Still won that bitch though.
Pac West champs, these two, we lost. They beat the team. They beat both the teams that beat us. So shout out to these guys. But
it was Passway.
That's wax.
Hey, take a sip.
Podcast, man. But Chris Levine, I mean, one of the best shooters that I came across in the military.
Stamped
And approved. Hey, on a side note, I seen this man go off, what was it, 49, 50 burger in the game. We play out in some other leagues. Hey, my man, when he get hot, he get hot. So, like, I can verify that, right? But day one, super positive, whether he's playing or not. Always hyping people. If I'm having a rough day, because nobody as athletes, as competitors, as alpha males, nobody beats us up more than ourselves, right?
That's facts.
And you like, man, I should have did that.
Yeah.
Me personally, everybody look at me, they're like, hey, because they know me as an athlete.
Get the rebound. Why didn't you get the rebound?
And you better dunk it every time you touch it.
Every time.
If I'm at the 3-point line, why you didn't dunk it? Because it's 86 feet away. Well, you better dunk 87.
That's 3 7-footers.
Right. So it's like, but with me, like, am I lying though? Like, so like, if I'm driving in and I lay it up, or I take a hard foul, miss a layup. Everybody, they don't care that I miss a layup. You should have dunked it, right? But I hear Chris on the side like, hey, get the next one.
Great job.
Hey, let's go. Hey, way to get downhill. Hey, next time you'll finish. And that's so important to have somebody in your corner and that can boost your energy. That is very important.
What does it do for you? Like what positive impact does that bring to you?
So like when you have somebody, and I'm not gonna call them a cheerleader, it's nothing like that. It's like you're a cheerleader. No, like when you got somebody that's
in
actually
your corner when times are tough. Adversity.
Because sometimes you can't see yourself through adversity.
Right.
Sometimes you need a light at the end. Sometimes you need somebody holding a flashlight like over here. And something you can focus on, because as athletes, especially when you know you're not performing to your personal best, you can go internal and you compound mistakes.
Facts.
And that missed layup turns to another missed layup, and then it turns to a missed box out. And then your next thing you know, your dude got 20 on you. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What the? But sometimes that can corral you. That can reel you in. Like, hey, let that go. Short-term memory, get back. I see you. I see the things you don't see. The things that people not talking about. Because sometimes your own teammates, just their body language and everything alone, that can shut you down. And they're not trying to do it intentionally, but they're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, don't worry about that. And that's always been Chris Levine. So like, anytime I'm watching him, I'm on the sideline, I try to reciprocate. I try to be the loudest in the gym, because Chris Levine always the loudest in the gym. And that's not just for me, that's for everybody.
And I think social media, like I caveat that earlier, has played a role in that, because everyone is in the concept of, I want to be the one that gets the man. I got to be the man. I got to be the one that gets the footage, right? Not everyone wants to be a good teammate.
That's
right. But you have to be a good teammate if you want to be successful, right? Look at the Warriors. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Curry, right? What happened when Jordan Poole got in there and he started talking reckless?
Got knocked out.
He got punched in his fucking mouth. Right? Because that's someone Draymond knows that they've already won multiple championships.
Yeah.
And they don't want someone that's going to come in there
bigger than what it is.
And then ruin that.
Yeah.
Right? And you need to be, formulated off of a good chemistry, a good, you have to have good teammates.
Yeah.
And Chris, like Swinney was saying, when you talk about someone doing the little things right, you might not understand the little things. This year on the basketball team, Chris would show up an hour before everyone.
Yeah. He's mopping the floor.
He would drive an hour first off to even get there. He's driving an hour. He's setting up clock. He's sweeping and mopping the floor. He's getting every jersey, not only just bringing the jerseys in there, he's setting them out. So when we got people that are coming in, last minute, they can just grab it and be like, oh, there's my jersey. It's already laid out. I don't have to dig through 100 jerseys. After practice, right, he's sitting there breaking down the logistical side of things, right? He's making sure that all the jerseys are accounted for back in the bay, drops them off. Score clock, good, drops them off. There's no trash on the bench. There's nothing. We played in Wichita last weekend, and, he had to call a couple of people back, right? Because first off, we're men, but secondly, we're all, in the Marines here, right? And we hold ourselves already that standard, right?
Found it.
Right? And you leave the situation better than you found it. And there's water bottles left over. There might be some wrappers. Like, no. We're not going to be remembered as those guys, right? You win as a champion and you lose as a champion, right? We may have lost, but we're going to leave with some dignity, right? So when the next team comes in, we're not going to have them picking up our trash and stuff like that. Right. And the coaches, I can tell you firsthand experience, right? Because I did face some adversity through my college experience, right? The last thing a college coach wants is to deal with is a goddamn headache of an individual player, right? His job, because we talked about it earlier with Monty Williams, right? And then who's the Milwaukee coach that got
lost? Budenheiser.
Can't think of his name. Irrelevant right now. But their job, they have a family they're supporting, right? You're there on scholarship for 4 years, right? You're probably not worried about how your actions are really affecting, the head coach, the assistant coach, the defensive coordinators, the video analysis, the recruiters that are there. You're not really thinking how your actions can really affect them putting food in their family's mouth. Right. So if you go there and try to mess up that whole situation, they don't want someone that's going to be partying the whole time. They don't want someone that's going to be flunking out of college, because now they already wasted all that time going out to recruit you. Now they got to waste their time sending all the people to go, sit by the classes for you, and you're just wasting people's time. Right. You got someone that don't want to watch film. You heard the story about Jamarcus Russell?
No, which one?
Fake tape. They gave
him a fake tape because he said he's been watching film, right? So they gave him a fake tape and said, "Hey, we want you to break down this defensive scheme, right?" He goes and does whatever the hell he does that night. They call him in, right? And they're like, "What'd you see on the tape?" He's like, "Oh yeah, the defense was tough," but they gave him a blank tape,
right?
And then from there, his career was because they knew that he didn't watch film. Yeah. And it's like, if I'm going to invest in you, right, we're giving you a chance to come out here. We're paying for your entire school. Right. Right? We're putting food in your mouth, right? You're getting paid because the NCAA just passed that. Right. But now, you don't want to do the little things. You don't want to go to class. Right. You don't want to show up on time, right? And it's as easy as being a last corporal. Like, you ain't got no fucking responsibility. All you got to do is show up when you're supposed to be, empty the trash, and you're good for the day. Yeah. So show up, go to weights, go to class. Be where you are where you have to be. Do your job. Right. These scholarships, bro. You just don't want to go to Michigan, right? Yeah. That's a top prestigious university. Yeah. To pay that out of his own pocket, you're looking at $50,000 to $60,000 a year. 80, right? Granted, it's a great university, right? You're going to get amazing opportunities from there. But 4 years, that's $320,000. Yeah. People are getting that completely wiped out by just doing the right things. Exactly. Right. Social media plays a part of that because everyone thinks they're him. Yeah. They're not him. He said it earlier. You're not the coldest rapper.
Yeah, I am.
You're not the best dunker.
I am.
You're not the best free throw shooter on the team.
I am. Hey, Haki.
You ain't the best cooker, right? And it comes down to those things. What can you do, though, that everyone else isn't doing? He can shoot free throws. He can shoot free throws. I can shoot free throws. What else can you do? Exactly. He can dunk it. He can dunk it. I can dunk it. Exactly. Cool. What else are you doing?
Exactly.
Right? Okay, I can break someone off on a hezzy, drive baseline with a step back, and shoot it. Can you do that? And this is just figuratively speaking, right? Can I do a behind the back, step back, hit a three? Can you do that? No. And those are the little things I'm looking for. Can you make that extra pass on a swing when it's going around the top of the key? Or are you going to be selfish and pull it because you want to be the 4 for 28?
You want to get it yours. That's what it is, because you want to get yours.
You got to break down that personal, that it's all about you. Granted, you're grinding, and keep up the grind, because that's what's going to get you there. Right. All right, I don't want you to take it and misconstrue it, because what you're doing now, grinding, is what's going to get you to that next elite level. Absolutely will. However, coaches notice the being a teammate. I remember when I was getting recruited by UND for football, Coach Breitbach, he came to one of my basketball games, right? And they like to see people that are well-rounded athletes, and he just wants to see how I play in another team aspect game. Right? You can't really tell when someone's got a football helmet on the pads, right, and you're playing a 53-yard field by 120. You can't notice that from the sideline, but you can notice that when you're sitting on the front of the bleachers watching a basketball game, when you're 5 feet in front of me, what kind of person you are. How do you handle adversity? Mm-hmm. If your teammate shoots it and misses the game-winning shot, how are you reacting? Because those little things, when you're in a championship game and it comes down the last second.
I talked about body language and everything like that.
Huge.
And I think I can even expound on that a little bit more, because I've been coaching football for 8 years.
That's right.
Iverson's going to be on my staff until he goes to DI. He's trying to flake on me, but I'm not. I'm not going to let him.
Hey, don't let him do it. Don't let him do it.
I'm not going to flake on me. But I've been coaching. I coach right now. 13. I'm the head coach. The Fallbrook Warriors, 13U. Shout out to Fallbrook. Hey,
FB.
Fallbrook, California. And I'm the head coach of the 13U, which is my 13, 14-year-olds. We got a couple 12-year-olds of that team. And I say football. I mean, we're talking football right now.
I'm sorry, it is our dream hoop.
Yeah.
No. It's good because
But
it's the athlete that I'm trying to capture as well.
Right.
Not only just basketball, but what does it take to become that level of athlete? There's a lot of athletes that are out there that are trying to become that level, and they need to understand what it's like to be in that position. So
Yeah. So like, I think football or basketball, any sports. Let's blanket statement.
yeah,
Sports is the ultimate mirror to life, right? You learn lessons in sports, especially as young men and women, that they're going to remember you for the rest of their life. They're going to remember the things you teach them. And they're going to even remember the things that you don't teach them, that somebody else teaches them. Like, man, I wish my coach would have taught me. How many times have we been in that position? Man, I wish my coach would have showed me this earlier, and I'm not learning it now, and I'm getting killed for it, right? So it's like I look at that, and the lessons that I try to teach to my football players or even my basketball player. I got an opportunity, shout out to Coach Dave Anderson. He would let me come into the practices and help out with 12, 13-year-old kids on the basketball court, right?
right.
And he would let me give them little lessons here and there. And I talked to them about camaraderie and teamwork and ultimately being a good teammate first, right? And some of the things that you try to instill in these kids, and if you're an athlete out there, some of the things that I think that you just have to grasp onto is the first is like, what can I do for the team?
Right.
You can get yours. You got to get yours because ultimately you got to put food on your plate too.
Facts.
And ultimately you working for a scholarship. You working for an NIL deal or whatever the case may be. Yes, absolutely. You got to go out there and perform because if you don't, you'll be sitting right next to the coach on the bench. Mm-hmm. You got to go out there and perform. You got to take advantage of every opportunity that coach gives you. But at the same time, how am I making everybody else better? We talk about LeBron James, right? We talk about LeBron a lot.
Yep, that's facts.
LeBron James will arguably go down as the greatest facilitator ever. People don't call him
NBA player ever.
My
generation.
Hey, but
we can talk.
With that being said, that's always gonna be, there's gonna be some people getting triggered right now.
Me.
There's some people getting triggered, whatever camera. Some of y'all are gonna get triggered right now.
Yeah.
Just take it for what it is, pause, and it's for conversation purposes. It's for to be able to have these sit down purposes.
Yeah, to get
barbershop talk.
Facts, to get the point out. Whatever you think about LeBron, right? And one of my personal opinions, like I think unarguably, like the general consensus is people look at LeBron and they compare him more to Magic than Jordan, right? They're like, hey, he's more of a Magic Johnson type player than a Michael Jordan type player.
I've actually never heard that. That's actually interesting.
Right?
Really?
Because I've heard it a ton.
I'm a football player.
That he's going to be one of the greatest facilitators ever. Coach K said it. Coach K was like, when I think about LeBron James, I think of him as one of the greatest facilitators ever. For him to break the record is amazing. It's mind-blowing that he broke the scoring title as a facilitator. But I say that because LeBron is going to go down. It's probably the GOAT. Whether you believe it or not. We haven't had a chance to miss him. That's why people don't say he's the GOAT. In my personal opinion, this is my opinion on LeBron James, right? And I'll leave it at this. The reason why people don't want to say LeBron James is the GOAT unanimously is because whenever somebody comes into the league, whenever somebody talks about the next greatest player, who the first player they compare him to?
LeBron.
Michael Jordan. They don't compare him to LeBron. They say, is this guy going to be the next? They don't say, is he going to be the next Kobe? They don't say, is he going to be the next LeBron? They don't say, is this the next Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? They say, is this guy the next Jordan?
But I think that changes as we progress, though, because that
I was about to say
falling out a little bit.
To be fair, though, that has to do with media.
Yeah, it does.
Right? So when you start talking about these certain media personnel that get this prominent attention on them, now you're talking about social media. the more you start doing that, it's the people that speak about that, it starts to go on throughout the years.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. These conversations, there's going to be somebody after LeBron, like right now. People are making it seem like Jokic.
Spurs.
No. People are making it seem. People are making it seem like
shot the 3.
Like Jokic is the next thing. Like Jokic is already top 15. And I'm like, you're putting Jokic top 15. He hasn't won a title. Everybody, I would say essentially everyone in the top 15 has already got an MVP. Now Jokic got 2 straight MVPs. Some people say he should have got MVP this year. A lot of people say he should have MVP this year.
Probably should have.
Hasn't got a title yet.
Pride himself into that.
Hasn't got one title yet, and they're making it seem like he's top 15
So
already.
if he gets a title,
but they did the same.
Got 2 MVPs.
Hold on.
No, that's not for me to say.
They did the same for Giannis.
Giannis.
And nobody put Giannis in the top 15. Who?
Who don't?
Who put Giannis in the top 15?
Who don't?
I put Giannis in the top.
Top what? This is going record.
Hold on.
Who don't put?
My top 5?
You listen to every quote-unquote analyst.
Who your top 5 is?
Expert.
No, see, that's
Let me hear your top 5.
They all put Giannis in there.
Let me hear your top 5, because I don't think Magic is a top 5.
The disrespect.
I don't think he is a top 5 NBA
That's
player of
because
all
you never
time.
watch. You
No.
never watch Magic. You don't know Magic.
So who's
Yo,
your top 5?
Top 5.
you crazy.
LeBron.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No order, right?
No order.
Okay, all right.
Except LeBron's number 1.
Go ahead.
No order. Kobe, number 2. Order. Michael, number 3.
Wow, the disrespect.
Hey, number 4, Shaq. Number
I
5,
think we had that conversation.
number 5, Timmy D. Duncan.
Tim Duncan's definitely not top 5, but I love
How?
Tim.
Oh, hey, Chris, off the top of your head, you know how many championships Tim Duncan has?
5.
You know how many times he missed playoffs in his career?
Never.
Never.
That's fine.
How many? Say again how many championships he has?
But hold on.
You know
He
Real
said
quick.
5.
And you know who else didn't miss?
No.
Hold on, wait. I got
Go
something.
ahead.
You know who else didn't miss the playoffs and had more championships than Tim Duncan? Big Shot Bob, Robert Ory. So I don't want to hear that shit.
So hey, no specific order. Ori number 6.
Ori never had the Finals MVP either.
No, he did.
To be fair.
So yeah, that's who I got. No specific order except the first 3.
Tim
LeBron,
Duncan definitely
Kobe,
not top
Michael.
5 though. I love
Shaq,
Tim Duncan. The
Tim
big
Duncan.
fundamental. No hate.
Even still, you want to take Tim Duncan? I put Kareem over Magic.
Why though?
What he did for the game is a big man. What he was doing initially before Magic even joined. What he was doing in Milwaukee before he went to LA.
One title.
Right.
He went
Right. And what he
with
was,
Magic and became great.
he was already at the end of his
Great.
career when Magic joined with him.
Right. No.
He had some years.
When he joined the Magic.
When he joined the
When
Lakers.
he joined the Magic. Not when Magic joined with him. When he joined with Magic.
He was already with the Lakers before Magic joined. Magic got
Was it oh, it
Magic
was the
got
year.
drafted.
Yes. My bad. Hey, that's right. I got you.
Magic
Somebody
joined him,
go
right?
get
Okay, but-
When he was a rookie, Kareem was already old. He was hurt. He was really by himself
But-
besides Spencer Hayward. You know,
Who's the Finals MVP?
what do you think?
First year.
Kareem got hurt.
No, see, let's not do that.
Okay, listen.
You're absolutely
Hold on.
you're
Let me
absolutely
before you
right.
finish it, right?
You're absolutely
You can't
right.
say don't do that because if LeBron got hurt, game three, right? And Kyle Korver goes nuts. Korver, he fucking yeet, dropping 25, 25,
Should
25.
LeBron have
Should
over
LeBron-
9 MVPs? Should LeBron have at least
Yes.
9?
No,
Yes.
No, you
Yes.
can't say 9.
Yes.
Maybe not 9, but I
No,
think
watch
he
it.
deserves
He's
more
got
than
four.
he has.
He's got 4 MVPs.
Should he have?
So you-
I'll say at least 9.
Okay, hold on.
Who's breaking down the years?
Hold on.
LeBron had 9 years when he
So-
should have been MVP.
So you're telling me
the year KD got an MVP,
5
LeBron.
more years.
The year
he should
Westbrook
have.
got an MVP, LeBron. The year Harden got an MVP, LeBron.
Westbrook is the only one I will
Triple
stand
doubles,
by
triple doubles.
without a without a fact.
You're
But
telling
yeah,
me-
like
you're telling me
top
someone-
5. Hey, I went on camera and said my top 5. The
You're telling
only
me
3 were
five
wrong.
more-
That's all I had.
5 more he would have got. 5 more MVPs.
I think he should have got it. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
think he could have got it this year.
Absolutely. LeBron went nuts, bro. We've been so used to LeBron.
No, he should have got it this year. He missed too many
He
games.
missed a lot of
He
games.
could
You
have
gotta
got
play
it the
64
last
games.
10 years.
You gotta play 64 games.
Maybe not to Giannis. To Giannis.
Look.
We gotta be fair when we say this MVP. MVP is not always the best player. It's I mean, that's
The most
He's the most
valuable
valuable player to the league.
in.
I think it should be to the team.
No.
I think both.
Because Aaron Rodgers is the most fucking valuable player every time he's winning it. That's straight up cap.
But that's
He's
different.
a Lions fan.
Hey, hold on. But
He's a Steelers fan.
hey, no, hold on real quick. Football is different. So let's be honest. MVP is a quarterback's fucking award.
And it shouldn't be.
No, I'm saying what it is.
I hate that.
It's a quarterback's award, and whoever has the best stats on the winning team is in the MVP.
Because you know what's crazy? The yak, they call it the yards after catch.
And it's
that Devontae Adams is getting.
That's
that
crazy.
Aaron Jones is getting.
Yeah.
Having all these little bubbles and routes.
LeBron. Aaron Rodgers gets credit for
He
that.
gets credit for all that shit. Tom Brady too.
So should
Matt
it be?
Stafford had all them yards when Cooper Kupp was taking
Everybody worried
5-yard
about
screens.
Hey,
68 yards.
That's
So should Embiid have got MVP this year?
no.
I think he deserved it.
You said it too, though. He cried himself into
I think he
it.
cried himself
Okay,
into
which
it.
is fine, but why not though?
For 3 years, he
Why
cried
not?
himself into it.
Why
Because
should
I don't think
he
he
played
was
well enough to
dominant.
get it. Yeah,
you don't think he did?
I do.
Okay.
I think he played
Wait,
well
now
enough.
remember, this is a
Name
regular
three
season
players he had a
award.
better year than.
This is a regular season award.
Everybody that's not Jokic.
You think he played better than everyone that besides Jokic the entire year?
Yeah.
Who else didn't?
I'm taking Embiid over AD. I'm taking Embiid over. I'm not taking him over Jokic. Jokic is about to win a chip.
Jokic, I think Jokic should have got it.
He might,
However,
but they didn't want that to happen.
So
They
did
didn't want
Embiid
that.
play better defense than Jokic?
He does play.
Okay, so
Jokic don't hide that though.
That-
Jokic like,
no.
I'm not a fucking great defense.
but if he
Look.
played more defense, his offensive wouldn't he's taken away from his offensive.
which
side.
is fine, but does that go in the MVP?
He should have won defensive player of the year then. If
No,
he's
no,
so
no,
good
no.
at fucking defense.
But that goes to overall player. They solidify it. They go.
Hey, Rudy
MVP,
Gobert.
defense,
D4.
and then they go. So Embiid shouldn't have won it.
I
don't think he should.
I think he
See,
played well.
it's tough, right?
Hey, you forgot what Embiid was doing, bro. Embiid went off this year. He had a great year.
Embiid was hooping.
He was hooping.
When we do that, when we start looking at the playoffs,
No, seriously.
it's not a playoff award.
Seriously, I think Embiid definitely deserved it.
However,
I
right?
think he deserved it more last year than this year. But
I was gonna
I
make
think
an
Jokic
argument.
probably had it this year, but I think Embiid had it last year. I think it was a makeup.
But
Kind of
when
like refs do, makeup calls.
When you're talking about hoopers, right? You know the outside in game, right? Who do the Sixers have on the outside?
Maxey and Harden.
Yep.
Maxey and Harden.
And what's his name? J.
Tobias
Cole.
Harris. Tobias Harris.
J. Cole on the outside.
Exactly, right? They got like really elite outside shooters, right? And what that does is enables
They got one elite
Embiid.
outside shooter, James Harden.
Yeah, but Maxey's able to create, right? So what that does is it takes them outside. So Embiid, right? What is he? 7'1", 7'2"?
So, yeah, like 7-1-7.
That man is.
Nah.
Pause. Pause. That man is a large human.
Whoa.
Right?
That still sounds crazy.
I said,
That's still crazy.
I wasn't gonna back up. He's a large human. Like most, who's gonna guard him? Mason Plumlee.
Mason Plumlee plays slow, but hey, look. Yo.
If this man started shooting free throws left-handed because he couldn't shoot them right.
He did shoot him right.
But when you start talking about the taller guys, right?
DeAndre Ayton.
No. What I'm saying is when you start
He was a
talking about
disappointment,
tall
bro.
basketball
He was a
players,
disappointment.
one thing they never
I'm a Phoenix
take into
fan,
contention is how do you guard these short, quick dudes? See, when everybody says,
You know how you guard them?
No, I'm saying
Edge.
when everybody says,
You can't edge Kyrie. He's gonna cook you.
you're 7'1".
He might tear your ACL.
Yeah, no. When everybody says you're 7'1", you should be able to take a foul. Okay. So what about that quick guy? How am I supposed to guard him?
You know that's part of the game though. They're gonna get theirs.
Okay, so why is it the big guy?
Guard him like this.
punishment?
Stand straight up. Hey, look. Stand straight up. Wall up.
So can they get fouled?
You gotta
Can they
leave
get
it.
fouled though?
Yeah.
What I learned is you gotta leave your feet because apparently you
That's
can't.
That's the
Worst
stupidest
call I ever heard, bro. Hey, yo, look.
Shout out, wait. Shout out the NBA, right?
Bro.
A great organization.
Tell 'em about it,
You know,
bro.
Mr. Mike Myers has done his thing. Like
Yeah.
much credit to him. He built a platform
Him and Jason.
from
Gotta say Jason.
from down to an elite level that gives military members a chance to play basketball at an elite level. However,
However,
I got
semicolon.
there is.
one of the worst foul calls ever. I walled up.
Just wait, you get in.
Hey, that's what it's out
Let me
now.
elaborate.
Don't trust
Let me
him.
elaborate. So in this league, we
I'm not
play
like
NCAA rules, right? Because we're men. However, it's the women NCAA rules.
It is.
Elaborate the rule of a big man standing in the paint.
So check it out.
What do you got to do to not get a foul?
So
You got to jump. And
I
leave your
gotta
feet.
jump and I cannot just walk. So as a big, right? I play the 4 and the 5 for my team, right? Depending on the personnel on the floor. As a big man, you're taught to wall up, meaning get as tall as possible, stretch out, stay vertical.
Don't leave your feet.
Don't leave your feet. Make them shoot a shot over you. Make the shot difficult. I've been doing that for probably 20 years of basketball at this point.
Yeah.
Never got a foul when I correctly walled up.
Not once.
To the shot. I got multiple fouls because not only did I have to wall up, but apparently I gotta leave my feet.
What happens when you leave your feet and jump? What are you gonna call?
A foul.
You're gonna call a foul every time. So you don't leave your feet, it's a foul. But now
I leave my feet.
It's not.
But you gotta establish verticality in order,
which is also subjective to every official that is refereeing.
That was crazy.
That is the biggest adjustment I would make.
Those was big fouls too, though.
Huge.
In huge moments.
I remember we
gave up huge.
We were playing Fort Campbell, and it's a pretty close game. And I felt like the initial first quarter, I had 2 fouls. Right, they had a 6-10 play, and my first foul was because I was inside the paint and I didn't jump. And I said, "How are you going to tell me I have to jump right there? Because you're going to call a foul, and they're going to call a foul regardless." Anyways, fast forward to the fourth quarter. I'm looking at the ref, and he's a Pac West ref, so I've seen this ref like 6 times, and I know I'm getting hosed. I'm getting, not what I'm supposed to be getting. I said, "Man, where's Mike at? Where's Mr. Mike?" And Mr. Myers happened to be right there, and I told him right there, I was like, reevaluate this game. Because from that game against Fort Campbell, you're going to see in that first quarter, right, I'm straight up not leaving my feet. But the rules they have in there, it's a foul. But when I go on my end, trying to, as a big man, because I play the 4 and 5.
I'll get the same call.
I'm in the paint doing the same thing, and they're not jumping either, but they're not getting a foul on that same one I did. And I know he experienced it against Fort Irwin, or not Fort Irwin.
No, we played Irwin. No, we didn't play Irwin. We played
Jackson.
Fort
Jackson.
Yeah,
I think something like
one
that.
of them bums. We beat him.
We beat him in San Antonio, smoking that army pack. But they're critical fouls, right? And I think he fouled out in the first half.
That's Bennett. Fort
Bennett, right? Smoking that Bennett pack.
But I had a nasty. It's going low key. It's going viral right now. Like I dunked on like 2 of their players. It was crazy.
It makes a difference in the game though when and that's where good teammates.
I fouled out in the first half, y'all.
Who fouls out in the first half?
Hey, that's on the coach.
Who plays someone with 4 fouls in the first half?
No, you are not.
Exactly.
Hey,
coach, you take me out. They hated me in there. I was cooking.
Cut that.
I was cooking.
Let's home this back in real quick.
Hey, but look.
Hey,
but like that. Well, I found out of that game because another rule, right? Apparently, I can't be strong with the ball when I rebound. So, people that know me know I'm a tenacious rebounder.
Hack. He a hack.
That's Cap.
It's just because
my favorite cereal is Captain Crunch, and I think that would die.
You don't like the Honey O's?
The Honey Nut Cheerios?
No, not Honey Nut Cheerios. The Honey O's.
They're just Honey O's.
You never had them?
The Malto Mill, General Mills.
Bro,
you talking about honeycomb? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Corn Pops. But like, no, I'm not a hack, y'all. For one, I probably fouled out
That's the best cereal you'll ever have.
I probably fouled out of like 2 games in 5 years. No, I've never had it. What the hell are those?
Yo. Hey, if you're watching right now, go to your local Walmart, Target, Vons, whatever you got. This cereal right here, the Honey O's, right?
Wow.
What is that?
Oh shit, right there.
Yo, look.
The best cereal you'll ever have, the Honey O's. Hey, right? It's not one of those cereals that gets wet and like goes all crazy in your mouth.
Hey, yo,
this thing,
wet and go crazy in your mouth.
Special.
Would you rather be wet and go crazy in your mouth or?
Yo, hey, look. First and foremost, I ain't eating
Honey O's.
Hey, his Frosted Flakes box, they don't got a tiger, got a lion. They don't say they're great. They be like, they alright. You know what I mean? But I don't eat that. You know what I mean?
Bro, the Honey O's, right? My buddy he put me on those, bro. That shit wild, bro. Changed your life.
Honey O's. I ain't never had them.
Bro, I might buy you a box and I'll bring it tomorrow.
Hey,
not if they don't get wet and go crazy in my mouth.
Because you know how cereal like it starts.
So just real quick to kind of hold it, because it's kind of hot in this room right now. A lot of these cameras are starting to overheat. But last thing I want to kind of leave with is what are some lasting things that you can see with like these upcoming athletes that you would like to see them improve on in order for them to get to the goals that they want to meet?
I think that's a great question. I think the things that is, I call them the younger generation because I like to consider myself old, even though I'm not old at all. But resilience, right? Nobody's resilient anymore. Everybody gives up. And I think it's an effect from everybody being helicopter parented.
Right.
Meaning like parents are just hovering over you the whole time like a helicopter. And they're not letting you fall and bump your head. Everybody gets a participation trophy. Everybody gets a medal. And when you don't, you feel entitled. And you feel like, oh, well, I'm going to go do the next thing. Or I'm going to go to the next team or whatever the case. Nobody's resilient anymore. How do you face adversity? Like, I tell my teams, right? Like, I'm a captain on our team, on the Marine team. And you know, I've always been a vocal leader, but before each game, I tell my guys, I say, hey, you gotta believe in the name that's on the back of your jersey, but you gotta make them respect the name that's on the front of your jersey. Remember I was telling you? Ooh, you like that one, don't you? That's right. You gotta believe in the name that's on the back of your jersey, but you gotta make everybody else respect the name that's on the front of your jersey. Because what have you done to go earn that respect, right? If you're not resilient, you give up after you miss that shot, you get boxed out, you don't get that rebound, you get dunked on in the middle of the game, and then
why you point
I didn't point at him. I don't know who got dunked on, right? Yeah. But anything doesn't go your way, and you hang in your head, you got bad body language, you can't get through that. You can't let that go. And that, I don't care what sport it is. Like I said, I coach football. You'll see a kid miss a tackle and he's throwing his hands up in the air and I lose him for a quarter. Because he missed one tackle. Let it go. Get back out there. You got to show resilience. And that comes with, I told you, that motivation should be intrinsic, right? You got to do some introspection. Look within yourself and say, what do I need to do to get better? Because nobody's going to be as real as you are with yourself. You know if you trash. Let's talk about it. You know if you trash. You know if you good. And you know what you good at and bad at. So take the things that you bad at and don't run away from them. Take those things and say, you know what? I'm going to work on that so I can get better for the team, right? Take the things that you good, emphasize it. I'm going to keep doing these things and I'm going to get better at these things as well for the team, right? I'm going to be resilient. When it doesn't go my way, when we're down in the game, it's the fourth quarter, 1 minute left, we down 8 points. Am I going to hang my head and say, you know what, this game is over?
Give me the ball.
Give me the ball. Or am I going to turn into T-Mac? I'm going to put the game on my back and go crazy.
13 and 31.
Yeah, 13
right?
and 39.
Do I got that T-Mac syndrome? Do I got the Tom Brady effect? As long as it's time on the clock, do I still got a chance?
Yep.
That's the Tom Brady effect.
Soon to be Patrick Mahomes effect. So I got one question for you, right? Because you're a very vocal leader, like you said, right? Yeah. As a leader and a mentor, right? Mm-hmm. How can you instill, the trait of resilience in this youngest culture? Yeah. Or even your Marines, right? On the basketball team, or right. The young players when you're 13, 14. How can you instill that resilience amongst them, from an early age?
I think you instill that by being authentic in your belief in them. Because
build confidence through them, kind of, right? Make them think for themselves.
Exactly, because a lot of times, like what I've noticed as a coach, and even as a player, when something goes wrong, when adversity hits, you see these young players, first thing they do, they looking out. They're looking out to the stands at their parents there, and they're looking for mom or dad to see how mom and dad reacts.
Yep, that's facts.
If they hang their head, they're like, oh my God, what are you doing, Timmy? They out of it.
They want a response from their parents.
Exactly. Or if it's our level and they make a mistake in the game, they look into the bench.
Yep.
And they look at how their teammates looking, they look at how the coach reacting. Don't look at my coach. He's going to be like this.
Yeah.
The whole time, right? You look at that, he's going to be out of it.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to David. Hey, great.
Yeah.
I love him to death. That's my brother. I mess with him. You know I mess with him. I'm
about to take my shit off and get out of here, bro.
So you can't look at him because that's just his energy though. Like he's super passionate, so he's like he's highly invested. It doesn't mean he's mad at you, but you may get the wrong vibe from that,
You
right?
can see the love of his game through his actions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the way to instill that resilience is let them affirmation. As much as we have bravado, we have egos, as much as, like I said, we're alpha males in the military and the Marine Corps, sometimes you got to set that aside and give somebody an attaboy. Hey, you did good. Hey, I know you messed that up, but guess what? It's the next play. It's the next. It's still
that
time
part
on the
right
clock.
there.
It's still time on the clock. Do not give up on me yet. Hey, don't quit on me.
It's crazy to think about, right? Because that one little mess up, right? That could transition into a 6-point swing.
Exactly.
Right? You drop your head for this play, they score, you're thinking about it again, right? You're not really locked in, you turn over the ball again, they score again, and that's a 6-point swing, you know?
Right.
And football, how long do you think a normal play is?
15 seconds, not even that.
From the time he's getting everyone in their stance, right?
From stance to finish is 6 seconds.
When they say hut, 4, 5, 6 seconds, right?
Yeah.
At long, if they take it
I'm
down,
talking about
15.
the long,
15, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about the younger culture, right? And I can't say the younger culture because I did it, right? And everyone's going to react to adversity a different way. But those plays that last 6, 7 seconds, that shit don't matter. Because in football, offensive, each team is probably getting 70 to 80 snaps.
If that,
Right? That one play could have messed up 7 of those snaps. And we talked about it earlier, right? You know, very seldom, right, when we're going through film, maybe 3, 4, 5 plays the entire game of those 60 snaps. Everyone on the line, everyone at the receiver skills position did their assignments correctly.
Right.
And you just took away 6, 7 of those plays because you hung your hat.
Right.
Basketball, same thing. Now you're not getting back on defense. All right, your guy scored on you. Damn, now I'm already jogging down the court like, oh, fuck. All right? But now you might be motivated, right, because you got scored on. Everyone gets motivated kind of differently. And now you're just going to chuck up a bullshit shot. You're not going to run the same.
Hey, how much energy do people get when they hit a shot?
So much.
You ever see somebody get down the court so fast after they hit a shot? But when they miss a shot or get scored on, bro, they don't even pass down the court.
I always say this: if you hit a big shot, especially if it means something in the
Stop
actual
doing all
game,
this.
Everybody, you're throwing up signs, you're doing the bow and arrow, free, ice in the veins and everything.
Yeah.
But the opposite can be said if you're not getting the ball, you feel like you're open and you're not getting the ball. A lot of people curl in the corner. So I will say this: make sure that's not you. No matter what, stay resilient, like my guest said. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is, none of these dudes can guard me. None of them can guard me. Neither one of them can guard me. It's clamps. It's all clamps. None of them can guard me. And barbecue chicken.
Cap.
Barbecue chicken all day. Barbecue. It's barbecue. It's grilled chicken, barbecue chicken, all day.
Ball at the backboard. He's like, I thought it was 2 seconds. What?
Hey, I want to touch one more thing on why film is.
Oh, you want to do what?
I want to touch on the concept, right?
Yeah. Hey, last bit because we gotta get out of here.
2 of the greatest talkers that I like that talk about the game, right? Amon Shumpert, great storyteller. KG.
I knew you were gonna say
KG.
KG, right? And a story Amon Shumpert recently told was why LeBron was number 1 on my top 5.
I saw that one.
And he talked about film, right? And they come down. He didn't specify. I think he was talking about the Celtics. He never really got into it. But he said LeBron come down, and he could tell on the backside defense that the guy was playing lazy defense, and they were about to set them up, right? Why? Because LeBron is studious. He's a student of the game, like Swinney touched on earlier. And he's studying those film, right? And that's another reason why I think he is so great and overlooked, because people don't see what he puts in on time, right? And he knew that that backside defense was playing lazy. And if he could come off a pick, he would draw that guy in, and he said that guy will switch out there, right? He will kind of flare, and they'll have an open 3 shot.
Right.
Come down the play, he said, same play. Comes down, drove in, this guy crashes, boom, open 3. Just like he said, right? They come back on defense, they get a stop. They get down in the set. He said, no, same fucking play. Runs it down because he's ISOing this guy because he's watched film. He's seen how he's been developing through the game. And Amon goes on to say he comes down again. Guy drifts again. Boom, hits another three. And he's like, okay, now this guy's playing lenient, right? And he thinks he's on top of it, right? LeBron says, same fucking play. Go down there. LeBron gets it. This guy kind of now in and jabs, right? And they're able to give another dish. Boom, score. Come back in. Same play. And he's only cueing on this backside defense, and it's something that he saw, from film. He knew that backside wasn't going to help, right? And from there, Amon goes and said they ran that same play the whole half, and they're winning the game.
Yeah.
It's because they're students of the game, and as those watching this and see this, you have to understand that it's not going to be easy at any point.
Right.
And no one is going to just come and hand you anything because nothing in life is free. It's going to be people that put in, the work and the off hours that are going to really make something of themselves. Because everyone else is going there and they're doing the 2-hour workouts you're doing, and they're watching a little bit of film you watch, but no one is putting in the extra work, and that's where people really, take that higher step. And you were talking about earlier, I was going to try to ask a question. You said you took 5 years off of basketball, and when you take time off, that really affects your game. And that's why you see a lot of people like Gordon Hayward, right? When he had that nasty injury, he never really was the same player. Maybe that first year right away, but he never was that same player. And oftentimes you see these athletes that have these crucial injuries, and they're just not the same player, right? Mm-hmm. But what happens? It's the next man up, right? And how are these good teams formulated? It's because every person on the bench can be held accountable that they're watching the same film, they're putting in that same work, right? And as the young generation out there, that's how you're really going to separate yourself. That's going to be the dictatorship, the dictation.
Yo!
Trying to run the country like Putin, Drake said that. Yo, stop it. No. That's going to be the dictatorship. Sorry, we sit on the ground. That's going to be the...
No.
That's going to be the dictation, right? That's going to be the dictation of how far you go, right? Don't put in a lot of work, right? You might scratch the surface of like a lower caliber D2. You scratch the surface, maybe you're going D2 now, right? Put in all the work, like the off-season workouts, and your focus year-round, right? You're studying your game. Going to the gym, right? And I had this conversation with Harris, one of the greatest, Marine Corps basketball players there is, right? And he's like, what you do well, work on the stuff you don't, right? So when you go to the open gyms, right? If I'm playing a bullshit game that don't matter, why am I going to keep doing the same thing that I know I can score 100 times on? I'm him in the paint. I'll go with my right hand and make a layup every time. But why not work on a different facet of my game that no one else has seen? Why not
shooting threes?
Why not pull up and hit like a little head inside? And that's how you really develop your game, is doing the shit that don't shoot threes. I promise you, it's not gonna work out.
You're the man saying you shoot better than me, alright? Just remember, we're gonna have a future video about that.
We're about to be playing baseball after this. We're gonna have a 3-point contest. We're gonna be doing rap battles.
And Connect 4, all that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna give you anything in life for free, so don't expect a handout, because we're getting to the older people kind of phasing out, where they're like, everyone gets something for free, and you still got a hard core group of people, right? Mostly, I ain't even gonna say that. The younger male generation is kind of instilling that discipline, I think, back in, especially the fathers, right? Because the ones that grew up that didn't really have nothing, they kind of put that same energy back in their kids. So.
Yeah, and I will say this to kind of to finish it off is, it's not meant to be easy, and and this is a cliche statement, but anything that's that's easy isn't meant to be worth it. It's really not. It takes a lot to put forth this effort. Even the person that you think, I think, who was it, Scalabrini, that did an experiment
Brian
in NBA a few years back, where a lot of people kept talking about how he was the worst player in the NBA, how he was a bum. He did a whole he did a whole tour around different areas to show people it ain't sweet. He went there and literally was killing people 15-0 every game. And I say that because things may look a little different on the tube than it actually is in real life. It takes a lot of hard work for you to get to the point to where you want to be. These guys that are in the NBA, these guys that are in these high-level places, D1, D2, these guys put in a lot of work. My guest talked about is, they have these 3 sessions a day minimum where they got to be up before everybody else and they go to bed a lot later than everybody else, dedicated to their craft. And my question is, how dedicated to your craft are you? What are you doing right now that you weren't doing 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? What could you be doing right now that you're not doing? Right? What are you doing what are you not doing that a lot of people that are your contemporaries, those that are your peers, what are they doing that you're not doing? Those are the type of questions you should be asking, right? Are you comfortable right now? If you are, you need to get off that high horse. You need to put in that work because nothing worth having is going to be easy. Continue to put in that work. I'm going to continue to have these great guests. I want to say thank you so much to Courtney and Dustin for being our first guests here on the I Gym of Hoops channel. Thank you guys so much. Any last words you guys want to say?
Hey, when it come down to it, 3 things that I always live by. This is what I teach every player that I coach. This is what I try to instill in my teammates as their captain. There's 3 things that'll get you the dub every time. Believe in yourself, have fun, and win. All right? Let that be your mentality. Believe in yourself, have fun while you're doing it, and ultimately, you'll win.
I like it. Well, that was good. I don't really know how to follow that, but I'm going to follow with something that was said to me by the GOAT, Harris.
I'll think you say Chris, but go ahead.
I didn't tell him.
And I put this on like all my email tags and everything now, and it's kind of formulated like a process to live by. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. If you don't want to put in the work and the responsibility, don't seek the glory that comes with it.
Facts.
Like through that tough battle, like the man that's wearing the crown, he's the one that gets questioned when stuff don't go right. He's the one that gets looked at when you might lose a game, right? But through winning, right, and taking all those responsibilities, the glory will be that much greater when you win. So I'll leave that with you. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I live by that now.
Yeah, absolutely. First episode of I Gym of Hoops podcast, baby, here on YouTube. Looking forward to having this out to you guys soon. Thank you so much to my guests for making this an absolutely incredible experience, and I appreciate each and every one of you. More to come in the future. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give this a like. Push all these videos out. Yes, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yes, sir. I Gym of Hoops, baby. Signing off.
Yeah.